It's March 6, 2012. The time is approximately 9:41 a.m. We are on the record.
Can you please have the witness?
Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God.
Yes.
Kindly state your name for the record, please.
Valeria Pinchuk,
And tell us your marital status.
single.
Now, this deposition has been taken where?
Off of Richmond Street.
In Houston, Texas.
In
is
Houston,
that correct?
Texas, yes.
All right, where do you live?
I live in Pittsburgh,
We're
Pennsylvania.
today taking a deposition. There's a court reporter here who's going to be taking down everything that we're saying. Also, you may become famous because we have a video. But just out of convenience, and the basics of what this case is about. Is that correct? Obviously,
Yes.
the plaintiff in this case, Helen Heiner, is your mother. Is that right?
Well, for Yes. example, she was on the Deborah Duncan show at some point to demonstrate her techniques. As far as my observations go, she's a great teacher, and she's always had students, lined up out the door trying to get lessons from her. She's one of the few people in the world that can actually give results.
What sort of results have you seen?
I've seen kids fluently play. Oh gosh, it's hard to say. For example, the Deborah Duncan show, when she was on there, this is long before the software as well, she taught a little girl that was just picked out of the audience that had no background in piano whatsoever to play 3 songs in front of a live studio audience. Now, I have performance anxiety, but this little girl just did it perfectly based on the way that my mother taught her.
I'm trying to get some kind of indication from you, if you can, to try to explain to the jury the significance of this lawsuit, given what you just said about the effectiveness of teaching piano in this way.
Object to the form.
What's your objection, counsel?
Calls for speculation.
Okay. You can answer the question.
Okay. I've been pretty involved in doing the research about some of the competing programs, etc. A few summers ago, my mother paid me a small amount of money to help edit the business plan that she was coming up with in an attempt to get investors' interest in the program. There is absolutely nothing in the world that is as effective as this software in teaching piano. And the only difference between this software and the methods that my mother used before is how incredibly interactive it is and how it takes her physically having to be there out of the equation. That's the only difference, and that's why she came up with the idea of developing software in the first place.
You mentioned your mother was on the Deborah Duncan show?
Yes.
Is that the ABC network, Channel 13?
And I personally don't watch TV, so I saw the recording of it. That's the only thing I saw. I'm not sure which station it was on.
And is that the station where Marvin Zindler used to work?
I believe so. Like I said, I don't watch TV, so I'm not sure.
Okay. Did your mother date Marvin Zindler?
I have no idea. She never really told me details like that. However, she was happily married at the time. I don't believe that she was dating on the side. And I came along with them for dinner several times, and I never got that vibe from the situation at all.
So at the time she appeared on the Deborah Duncan show, she was married to Dan Heiner.
Correct.
Okay. Do you know who Marvin Zindler is?
I'm
Or
familiar
was?
with him, yes.
And how are you familiar with him?
Because I met him in person several times for dinner. He gave me a very nice birthday present once. He was a very friendly
And when you were
man.
having dinner with Marvin Zindler, was your mother present
Of course.
on all of those occasions? So do you know
Yes.
if your mom was sleeping with Marvin Zindler?
Why would I know that?
I'm not answering your questions today, man. You're required to answer the questions.
I don't know who my mother ever sleeps with, because that's not the type of relationship I have with my mother.
Your mother was good friends with Marvin Zindler?
I would say that, yeah, she was.
Okay. And do you know whether Marvin Zindler was good friends with Deborah Duncan?
No, I have absolutely no idea who any friends of his were other than my mother.
Yeah. And are you aware that it's Marvin Zindler who got your mother on Deborah Duncan's show?
No.
You don't know about that?
I have no idea about any of that.
All right. So heretofore you thought your mother was on the Deborah Duncan show because of her own merit, correct?
That's what her merit has led me to believe.
Okay. So you would be surprised to know that she got on the Deborah Duncan show because Marvin Zindler got her on there. True?
I would be surprised because I can't imagine how she would have known him before she got on the show.
Oh, you think your mother met Marvin Zindler on the Deborah Duncan show?
All I know is that the Deborah Duncan show happened first sequentially, and then afterwards I was introduced to Marvin Zindler.